Linie goed, Noorta.
Hinten 4. 10. Hinten 4.
13-3. Je wil los zien, oder? Einfach los zien.
Ben je standaard 14?
Ook geen idee, Mac.
Back 4.
Good evening, curlers.
Then. Back 8, back 12.
Oh my goodness, am I excited for this early evening draw.
Back 12. Whoa, straight.
Third game in, this is the 5th round of the Baden Masters here.
14.
And it is a peach, this one. This is the one that I wanted to watch when I first saw the draw. It is current Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller's team, and they are taking on current Scottish champions Whyte's team. And I can't wait for this one. We will say hello to the teams in just a minute. But let's see who else is out on the ice for this 5:30 draw here. We are still boiling over here in Baden. Chief Anina, chief of the competition, she ordered a lot of very nice sunny weather for all our visitors, so good for her. But we are all melting. So over on sheet 1, we have the most popular man in curling. It's Yves Stocker's team against the current world junior champions, Lucas Høstmælingen. Both of those teams have played once and won once. Fantastic win for Yves' team over Yannick Schwaller yesterday evening.
Yep. Whoa. Yes.
Sorry, my mistake. Høstmælingen's team, they played Whyte earlier on and they lost. It was a good game, but they lost in the end. So they are looking for their first win, actually. So that's over on sheet 1. I will keep you up to date with that. On the static cam on sheets 3 and 4, we have another intriguing lineup on sheet 3. We have the current European champions, Mouat's team from Scotland. And they are taking on team Dropkin from the US. Who we watched earlier on. Have a win against another Scottish team, James Craik's team. So they will be hoping that their form against Scottish teams continues. And finally on sheet 4, we have Kyle Waddell's team against Andre Schnider's team. Both of those struggling a little bit to find their rhythm with their first game. Both of them have played once and had a game off, so both of them lost their opening game, and both will be very keen to put a win on the board. We play 8 ends here in Baden. If scores are tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra end. It's a simple win or loss out there. We have 4 groups of 5 teams, 20 teams in total, 11 countries represented. You will play the other 4 teams in your group. And at the conclusion of the round, the teams are ranked 1 to 20, and the top 8 teams qualify for quarter-finals tomorrow. And if you win all 4 of your games, then off to the quarter-final you go. If you win 3 out of your 4 games, you will also qualify. That's enough. And typically, we end up with a logjam of teams on 2 wins and 2 losses. And typically 1 or 2 of those who have the best draw shot challenge, cumulative draw shot, they are the ones who will make up the roster for quarter-finals. So still all to play for. It's tricky to get there if you've lost your first couple of games, but it is possible.
Nice, great up.
That's okay. Get that. Get it shot over this. Hard.
It's okay.
It is the Swiss team, Yannick Schwaller, playing red stones and conveniently wearing red uniforms, who won the draw shot challenge. They do that after the game.
That was 12.
whoever has the superior draw shot challenge, they get that important last stone advantage in the first end. And in this game, that is Schwaller, and bright start from the Swiss, we'd have to say. 1, 2, 3 red stones counting. But goodness me, if there is one team I do not want to have to get a point off in this competition, it is Ross Whyte, Scottish champions.
Oh! Carol! 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 Shot. 11-4. Nice shot, man. Thank you.
And the Scots neatly getting themselves out of trouble there. Lovely, just gentle, controlled hit and roll.
Ja. Third shot. Und just clean. So.
If you're just joining us, maybe you have to have a job or something, and you haven't been able to watch curling since yesterday afternoon. Don't panic. All of the games, all of the live active cam games, they are all in the playlist, as well as all of the static cam games on sheets 3 and 4. They are all in the playlist as well. So you can watch curling all weekend.
So.
Gut, ja.
Backline, so.
Gut. Ich habe mir noch überlegt, alle 3 zu holen mit einem Clearing. Aber Backline ist schon gut. Würde dort beim Clearing sein, eher, oder was?
The Swiss will be very keen to make a positive start here. Ross Whyte, Scottish team, they are clinical. They are so difficult to beat. And the Swiss would love to get those red stones hanging around back into play. That's what Yannick Schwaller can see from the hack.
Ligne bien. Ça flotte un peu. Curl, curl. Curl. Curl, curl.
Trying to sweep to catch the curl on this first throw of Yannick's. And a super effort from the Swiss sweepers, but not quite what they were looking for. We can see lots of space for Scotland to take advantage and put another stone in behind cover there.
Net slag. Max Whyte.
Ja, aber wir müssen gleich mega fighten, weil wir einen Spieß haben.
Es ist wahrscheinlich schon hier. Tursday. Das war noch schon auf dem Hack. Wahrscheinlich schon. Aber es ist nicht schlecht. Es ist okay Tempo.
I've kind of got used to thinking of Bruce Mouat's team as the Scottish team. I know we've seen them at a lot of Worlds and Europeans and Olympics and so on. And a highly successful team, of course.
Line's good now. Line's good. Right. Line's good.
And Ross Whyte's team, they were due to go to World Championships when COVID pandemic struck. So I really feel for Ross Whyte's team that they are probably not quite as well known as they really ought to be. If we think of Mouat's team as maybe the kings of Scottish curling, then the team on your picture, they are the Crown Prince. They are the current Scottish champions due to complicated administrative reasons. It was not them representing Scotland at Worlds last year. That was here in Switzerland as well, in Schaffhausen. It was amazing. It was such a good time.
Are we there just outside ditch 4, is it?
They're high nose.
But you feel like Ross Whyte's team, their day must come. They had a real belligerent semi-final in this competition last year. Ross Whyte's team, they were up against fellow Scots Cameron Bryce, another really awkward team. And that was, for me, that was the game of the competition last year. But it was Bryce who came out the winner there. And I'm sure Ross Whyte and the team would love to reverse that result. Nice throw from Yannick Schwaller though.
I've got a bit of it. Can I blast them?
As we discovered last year doing the quiz, fans,
High corner free,
we have never had a Scottish winner here in Baden. Never. No David Murdoch, no Tom Brewster, no Bruce Mouat. We have never had a Scottish team, so that would be quite a cool bragging rights thing.
He plays this
Surely we are going to have a Scottish winner at some point soon, and whoever gets there first, that will be cool for them.
They should run pretty good. How much have I got? Just depends how much room behind the yellows I've got.
Perfect.
But yeah, I'm quite happy with this.
So Scotland need to be a little bit careful.
I think I'll curl because it's over the line.
It is the Swiss who have last stone here.
So
We are on 4th throwers in our first game of our featured game at Baden Masters 2024. First throw of the game for Ross Whyte.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard.
And first mistake of the game for Ross Whyte. You will not get many of those, Switzerland.
Nee, absoluut gaan mee. Sorry,
Tappen. So, das ist nachher mega eingestellt. Da gibt es ein Master-Körbchen. Er macht das hier, aber das geht ja nie neu
Winkel muss stimmen, ja. Aber wenn das stimmt, ja.
Wir können es hier antappen, oder? Hair high.
Für mich ist gut, Janik.
Freeze tap, so?
Ja, ich brauche Tap. Freeze bringt eigentlich nichts, oder?
Nein, zu tap.
Okay.
Hair high.
Ja, also genau wie du, glaube ich.
Ja.
Dritte
Dann
A.
muss ich fast Gas spielen für 2 abgeben, oder?
Für mich gut.
Das ist der einzige Stein, den ich gesehen habe.
Für mich gut. Hat dir so viel Geld. Kann dir weniger geben, aber...
Aber wir haben durchgewischt von innen rein. Aber er ist nicht so aktiv gespielt.
Okay.
Willst du ein bisschen weniger? So.
Nein, so ist gut.
Stein tappen!
Nimmt er ja nicht.
Chandler's team, as we said, not having it all their own way at all this weekend. They lost to Yves Stocker's team yesterday evening. They were up against Gösgens' team of Netherlands, and it was really like one mistake from Netherlands cost them that game. They were really forcing the issue with Schwaller's team, so of the two, I would expect Ross Whyte's team to probably be feeling the more confident. It's a neat throw from 4th thrower Benny Schwartz. We will say hello to the full lineup just shortly. And now, yeah, that highly uncharacteristic missed throw with his first shot, Ross Whyte. How should we get out of trouble in this first end?
And get those. Move this one so it sits far enough out so I lie second. Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of got thrown enough weight that it does roll off.
Yeah. Need to probably get nose because I don't think we can do this and leave the nose going straight for them. Yeah. Because even if this doesn't get killed, if we give up 3, it's not a disaster. If we give up 5, it's terrible.
I would agree with the Scottish assessment there. I'm not sure I would say that giving up 3 in the first end isn't a disaster. It's certainly not the start they would have hoped for. But I certainly take their point that they do not want to leave a hat full of reds lying around. And he can't half throw a heavy hit. Ross Whyte.
Yeah. 11 and a half. Just going to have to hope that it kind of squeeze, the back red squeezes far enough that we're lying second.
Denk Schwaller steeds mooi te rusten. Dat is 3-4, oder? Ja, dat zijn.
Ik kom heel goed, ja.
Oder? Oder Le 4. Either. Hij had ook gezegd, la 6 is tjus. Ik kan nog denken, ze spelen short.
Clean.
So not as big as his last throw, Ross Whyte.
Whoa. Go. Whoa. Straight. Whoa. Hard. Whoa. Yep.
Just trying to make sure that this yellow that he's thrown, trying to make it as difficult as possible for Switzerland to get rid of it. So he accepts that, okay, Switzerland are going to lie too.
Good enough?
Het is voor 2, ja.
Not much to do with that yellow. Force Benny Schwarz to draw to the pin.
Het is voor 3 of
Es könnte für 3 sein, aber ich bin...
Or is it 2? They're having a good look at it.
Ich glaube, es sind schon 2.
Ik het is 2, ja. Boah. Wat je niet meer als 8 moet zo, oder?
Ja, ja, zo sogar.
Goed. Daar hebben we nog niet gespeeld.
Whatever it is,
Yannick,
he's going for the straight
Ja, wir haben
draw.
noch nicht gespielt, nein. Ich glaube, wir sind schon 2.
het is weer wat anders, oder?
Sie ist auch nichts, oder?
Ja, wir sind 2 Shots.
So. Ich will so.
Boah. Ja, ja, wahrscheinlich schon. Ja, het is 3-4 of niet meer te zijn, dat is net de eerste zij, hoor.
I think it's them by a mile. Ewan thinks it's us, but I think it's them by a good bit.
Yeah, I think doing anything with that yellow
Maar ze
could definitely go wrong.
He's drawn right now.
And fully forfeit will be enough to score another point.
Gonna measure on it if he gets closer than I think it is.
And for a fellow as capable as Benoit Schwarz, he will take that all day.
Maar soms zei hij niet.
T-line. Limbia. Linie ist nie ein Issue, ja? Genau T.
The sweepers seem to like it.
13-8. Das ist gut.
Exactly T, they're saying.
3.
It is exactly T. Very satisfying. So definitely 2 points.
Wat doet hij met zijn measuresbos?
It wasn't close, like.
Ja,
Them by a
ja.
mile.
No measure needed.
Ja.
I think they may have conceded 3 shots there.
Okay, stick it to the board. In corner up. Just got a DC size. Might be a touch slower with the wings.
We hebben het geen vergeten.
Well, it's at least 2. I think it was 3.
Bit of fresh. Like a fucking
And the
street
Swiss will
cover.
be delighted with that for a start against current Scottish champions. You can imagine how difficult it is to be Scottish champion, viewer, when you've got the likes of Mouat and Cameron Bryce and James Craik all breathing down your throat. Kyle Waddell's team here as well. It was 3. A slightly unusual position then for Ross Whyte's team. They are typically excellent front runners. Let's see what they do in this situation. It will be the Scots now who have last stone in the second end of our featured game here in Baden. They will be keen to put a 2 straight back up on the board.
Ik vind het super, maar... Moet je gaan? Nee, absoluut.
Linie ist genau perfekt. 14-4. Das ist super, ganz viel. Gut.
As we thought then. Straight out with the corner guard, Scotland. We saw this beautifully done by James Craik's team yesterday,
Line's fine.
working really perfectly to get a 2. Lead thrower throws up a nice corner guard, swing a stone round it,
Bring your brush. My brush is
and then
good.
you spend the rest of
Not
the
go
end
off
working
my
towards the
brush.
centre.
Okay, Robin's in then.
6.
Okay, in. 15-7.
That's a nice start.
Speed's fine for the line.
Haben wir noch Zeit?
Speed's fine for the line.
Everyone else is also on their second end, but
Is een klein enger.
has not put up the scores yet.
10.
But we will check as soon as we can.
8, 0, ja.
Wie is goed?
Ist genau 4 Fuß.
4
Tap.
8.
Tap.
Open steek.
Nein, freeze. Freeze, ja. No freeze.
Perfect linie.
Super.
Goed.
If you're the sort who follows Twitter accounts for players' hats, and if you're just joining us, you may be surprised at how popular that sort of thing is. Then over on sheet 3, Bruce Mouat's hat and Corey Dropkin's hat are squaring off against each other. And it's the American hat who is in the lead. They scored a 1 in their first end, so
Tight, really
Corey
tight.
Dropkin's team lead Bruce Mouat 1-0 after 1.
Dunk, try and put them next to this one, mate. Have a look. Try and leave a trip at least.
Past that right now.
Moi, je préfère une banque quand il y a pas de ciao.
Just like 14-5.
Not quite the start we were expecting in this game. The Swiss have leapt out the blocks with a huge 3. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it is Ross Whyte's team.
Oui.
Oui. Whoa.
Oh.
Oui. 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 Right. Séance.
So how are they going to bring that corner guard back into play? Are they going to try and use those reds and get an angle off, or yeah, we've seen both. It can be hard to get a really accurate roll, so using the red to bounce off, and sometimes it can be easier to just swing a stone directly in behind that guard.
Oh, my rock was not good.
Line, back button.
Okay, line's good.
And the back end of this team, Robin Bryden and Ross
Line
Whyte,
only. Line only.
they have a huge amount of firepower between them, perfectly capable of lifting multiple stones in the centre.
Line's great.
Sorry.
Just use it.
That is exactly what was asked for. That is a nice shot.
Ewan, 14-2.
Oui. Whoa. Come.
That guard then, the only stone that can really cause the Swiss any problems. And ta-da, it's gone. Well, it's left a red out front. That's one of those shots that looks fancier than it is actually, because Ross Whyte can still use that corner guard even though it's changed colour.
Ich glaube, ich bin der Einzige, aber ich finde das gut.
Ich finde es super.
Ja?
Ja, ich es gern. Du
Just stand on top of it.
musst nicht da haben und kannst
Ja.
trinken und etwas
10.
anderes machen.
Finde ich auch.
Just a smidge high,
Es ist
dunk.
ja ein rechter Hate auf das, aber ich es gern. Schau jetzt, ich.
Ja, ja.
This time doing it the other way, opting to
10-3.
use those reds, maybe try and punch a couple behind T-line.
Yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, no, Carl.
Not sure if something happened to that stone to change the line a wee bit, but
Nein.
they didn't seem to like the line on that.
Ziemlich perfekt.
Perfekt, ja.
And indeed should be fairly straightforward
Spatzig ist auf das.
for the Swiss to remove that yellow just thrown.
Sowieso. Spatzig ist natürlich der Roll weit, aber optimal wäre für unsere andere Rolle.
Scotland with a bit of work to do then to get a 2 straight back on the board here.
Vitesse. Ça flotte un peu, attention. Curl. Non, c'est bien, c'est bien. Wow.
Curl, 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 curl,
Curl.
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 Again, they're trying to catch the curl, the Swiss team. But yeah, that's job done there. No yellows equals no points.
What kind of weight do you see this make it? 8?
8.5, 9, is that enough?
I think 8.
Okay.
Okay.
If you're not catching, you can catch this pretty thick to make it, so.
Yeah, bien sûr. Yeah, nice. So.
You hear Ross Whyte saying 8 there. What he is probably alluding to is an 8-second shot. So from hog line to hog line, 8 seconds. And that's a fairly decent throw.
Yep. Well.
Yep.
That's going at a bit of pace, you can see.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
But does neither one nor the other.
If right, just jump.
Just jumped, says Ross Whyte. We saw that with our previous stone. They didn't seem to like the line of that one either. Maybe there's a little ridge or a little straight piece of ice there.
Ja, ik was zo mee.
Hier had er een double roll tegen de corner gehad. Daar zien we dort nog shot.
It's our friend Jamie is the ice master as always.
Dan kan je clean pick maken.
Ja, ja. Is detail.
I think he's having a nap under the table because he's busy every other minute of the weekend. We really have the highest quality ice here. That's what these top teams expect. That's what they would be facing also at World Championships.
Une halve, attention. Curl, curl, curl. Wow, wow. Wow. Curl, curl. Wow, 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 wow. Straight, straight.
And even that, a relatively easy shot, an open hit, you would say. He could see all of that yellow, but so careful with where that red rolls. Look what a nice roll that got. Covering that red stone in the forefoot.
Yeah.
They mean business out there, Yannick Schwaller's team. Bit of a rocky start in this competition.
Hard to make those.
Thing against there.
Whatever they had for lunch seems to be doing the trick.
Where's that back button?
Yeah, that's just nibbling the back button. So you're fully T-line. Split a T, you're good.
Touch legs, Ross.
Shot. Ja, ik weet niet of dat passiert.
Geen anders is aber auch een open freeze mega goed. Dat is perfect.
Ja, ja. Ja, ja. Ja, weet die Linie ist immer Routine, aber ja, ja.
Das ist wahrscheinlich die beste Option, die sie haben, so, zum etwas zu kreieren. Einfach der Freeze.
Easy, easy.
Okay, line's good.
Big
Run
shot
in touch.
here for Scotland.
Line's good.
Line's good.
If they want to try to get 2 on the board here.
Line's great to lock on. Curl if you can. Curl.
Well managed there from the whole team.
Yeah, good try. 15-3, Duncan. Sorry.
Good try, they say, a little bit uncharitably.
Sorry?
I guess they are being picky. They would have wanted slightly more
I
curl.
was a wee bit cautious with the curl just in case it took off over the line. But
Curl is called what? Ziemlich straight, sag ich.
Ja. Super.
Ich würde so.
Ja,
nice shot, mate. A wee bit caution the line call in the end, but just didn't know what it would do once it got over the line. Didn't want it to snap, but good shot. 15-3 in that. It's good, like.
We are down to 4th stones in the second end of our featured game at Baden Masters 2024. Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller versus Scottish champions Ross Whyte. First throw of the second end
Oui, wow, curl.
for Benoit Schwarz van Berkel.
Wow.
Oui. Wow.
Doing what he always does,
What?
making it look easy.
Double and roll to behind the corner there.
Down weight, you're probably rolling deep.
Yeah.
Big throw from Schwaller. Let's look at that again. Here it is in slow motion in case
Yeah, I mean, what else are you doing?
you missed it, going at speed.
Get shot round the corner.
So he does sacrifice one of his own,
Looks tough not to leave him half a stone.
but the Swiss won't mind that. They're the ones who are +3. So yeah, a couple of options here for Scotland.
You can make that at 10.
You can try and use that corner guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could
Just
try,
enough to nick this out. Half a stone.
you could try and get one in behind that stone that Rob Brydon's pointing at, or if you use that angle that Robin's pointing out,
9.5.
you can probably lift the
9.5,
double,
then.
blank this end. Let's try again in the next end.
I think you should curl nice into here.
Ja, den kan man ikke nå med de andre over.
We're only in the second end, we've got plenty of time.
Yeah, 9.5, 10, I think. It's close.
Looks like indeed the double is the call.
She could do with that big weight, but we can make this, maybe get blank out of it. 9.5, 10.
I'm not sure if the double would also roll the shooter behind that corner guard. That would be a very happy result.
Whoa!
Close.
Whoa!
Whoa, whoa.
Carl! Carl! Carl!
Carl's a touch.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Take the paint.
The answer to that is no.
Ja,
No, schwierig zu sehen.
ich will noch nicht so. Ja, nein, das ist gut. Ja.
Look, that's really okay though.
Gut.
And what we will see now from the Swiss.
Firm.
Last throw for both teams. The Swiss are lying one.
No, it didn't.
If they can just find a nice spot for this final stone,
That was 9.
just somewhere
Heavy.
that means Scotland can't play a double takeout, then they will force Scotland to score just 1 point,
No Länge.
and they will get that big last stone advantage back, and that will be another positive end for the Swiss. But standing off this one, I don't think it's heavy. I think it's just fine by itself.
Perfect. Gut gemacht.
Draw weight is.
So what do you do? Do you go for the fancy across the house double?
Played a lot on it.
Same line I
That is a big risk. I think, yeah, Ross Whyte sensibly deciding we want to get a point on the board here. Frustrating end for the Scots. They really would have wanted more than 1 point.
Should be ins Otter.
Same as other games then?
Switzerland not needing to score this end. That was not their intention with their shots there. They just wanted to frustrate the objectives of Scotland, make sure that Scotland cannot score more than one, and their objective is therefore met. And Scotland, we call this being forced to score one.
Lines in the wider stuff. Starting to curl now.
Curling now. Piece of the 4 is good.
You can see it needs to be fully in the 8 foot in the white circle, and that will be enough for 1 point for the Scots. And fully in the 4 foot, as we would expect from Ross Whyte. So they are off the mark, Scotland. But I think it will be the Swiss who are happier at this early stage. That's a point to the Scots, but it is the Swiss champions, Yannick Schwaller's team, leading the Scottish champions, Ross Whyte's team, 3 points to 1 after 2 ends.
So just if they go in and depends where they go, we can go on top and we can then through the guard. Just throw it light.
Line only. Line's not an issue.
Machen wir 0 oder 2.
Hair narrow. Over and up's great.
If
If you're just joining us, you're starting your weekend with some world quality curling. Hello, hello.
Good shot.
We are watching Yannick Schwaller's Swiss champions versus Whyte Scottish champions. Not quite the game we thought we were going to have so far. It was really just one miss from the Scots. Well, that's not fully true, but yeah, an important miss from the Scots, let's say, in the first end, and giving the Swiss huge opportunity to score 3, which they did. And Scotland being forced to score 1 in the second end there.
biegt recht ab, Achtung! Go, Ben, go, Ben. Kannst noch gleich, kannst noch gleich.
And why will Scotland be a little bit frustrated with that? That's because at this level, most of these guys will make most of their shots. Therefore, if you have last stone, you can pretty much expect to score 1 point with your 1 last stone. And as you can imagine, if we did that for 8 ends, we would end up with a score of 4 each. Therefore, if you want to win the game, you need to do something a bit more special. And that's why the Scots will be a little bit frustrated that they only managed to score 1 point with their 1 last stone. They would have felt much better scoring 2 or more. And what they will be trying in this third end, what's our objectives for the third end here, team? Well, if you're Scotland, we've still got plenty of game left, but we don't mind stealing this end, so that's getting a point without last stone.
Haltet den einfach Platz hier. Weißt du, ihr denkt, zuerst spielen wir ja die Karte an. Und wenn wir sie hier alleine sind, so, dann wären immer noch die Karte da, oder? Dann gehen wir da, der hat weniger Platz, der hat mehr Platz zum Clearen.
If you're Switzerland, what's your objective? You're already +2. If you would get another point, even just a single at this stage, that would give you a score of 4-1, a cushion of 3 points, and that's not too bad either. So both teams would like to score a point here in this end. Just realised we haven't actually officially said hello to the teams. So let's do that.
Back
Those 2 nice red stones.
Try and move this one back here. Try and stick in front.
Lead thrower for the Swiss, it's Pablo Lachat-Couchepin. Second thrower for the Swiss, it's Sven Michael. Third and skip in your picture is Yannick Schwaller. Fourth thrower is Benoit Schwarz van Berkel. And the Scots have mercifully shorter names. Throwing lead for the Scots team, it's Ewan Kyle. Second thrower is Duncan McFadden. Third thrower, Robin Bryden. Fourth and skip is the man in the house, Ross Whyte.
Clean, yes. Whoa.
That is a good shot. You may say to yourself, doesn't look very good. We still have 2 reds closer to the middle. But if you're Scotland, your best chance of scoring when Benny Schwartz plays his last throw is if you have a nice stone, maybe more, towards the middle and a whole bunch of stones blocking the path. That's your best chance of scoring a 1 here. Whereas for the Swiss, their best chance of scoring is the reverse. If they don't have stones blocking the path. But a huge throw from Sven Michael. Here it is again. Lifting 1, 2 guards. just touching one of his own Swiss stones in the rings. But there's still a situation with opportunities for Scotland, as long as they have yellows in play, as long as there are stones hanging around.
Halfway, one.
They increase their chance of being able to steal this end. So while they're busy trying to steal things, let's see how everyone else is getting on. Close game over on sheet 1. It was blank in the first end, and then singles exchange. So after 3 ends on sheet 1, the score is 1-1 between Yves Socher and Lucas Høstmælingen. On the static cam on sheets 3 and 4, Bruce Mouat's team not hanging about. This has not been such a happy hunting ground for this team, but they seem determined to change that this year. They got a big 4 against Corey Dropkin's team in the second end, so they lead Dropkin of the US 4 points to 1. And finally on sheet 4, we have Kyle Waddell's team, also from Scotland. We have 5 Scottish teams at the competition this year. They are playing André Schnider's team. Both of those teams lost their first game, so both will be really keen to pick up a win here. And it is Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland who have had the brighter start. They scored 3 against André's Swiss rink. And they are also in their third end.
So wie du. Ja, es ist für ihn nicht einfach, die Situation zu lösen. Gives them one more to blast. Hey, don't call a bluff and go around the top 4.
We can see rather different body language. The Swiss looking pretty relaxed. I don't blame them. They are in a very nice position in this game, but we've got plenty of game to go. We're only in the third end. And looking more focused is Ross Whyte.
En dan nog wat, mag er meer in gaan. Het is even een beetje heiß. Kannst du noch verlieren, in dem Moment.
Rob Brydon, the vice skip, coming up for a confab.
That's my only concern, yes.
Muss immer ein bisschen abwägen, ob der Zeus zahlt oder nicht.
It's early enough in the game that they don't need to go all out, but let's see what they're thinking.
That maybe makes our life harder. No, but I can maybe play a bump and just try and kind of release it to here, and we'd have a just that, slide off it to lie right in here, so this all just goes straight into that.
If we're playing that kind of weight, we should be able to keep this back here for long, just to hang the inside nose, right?
Yeah, just only concerns this, but
Side off.
yeah.
I think that's what I was seeing.
Okay, there's a good chance at 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, just back it.
Back 12, you can slide north, I think.
Okay.
Giving up 1 point here.
You don't need to move that far, like.
Yeah.
Not a disaster for Scotland, but giving up more than 1, this game starts to get very difficult.
Even that's okay.
And really, in the Swiss team, 1 through 4, all of them are real big hitters. They can remove multiple stones with a shot. So Scotland are going to have to work really hard here to try to get a mistake out of Switzerland.
Carl! Carl! Carve! close, Dunk. Help! Get it close. Whoa, whoa. Help! Straight. Whoa, whoa.
That is a great shot, Robin Bryden.
Ja.
Mit dem Shooter da irgendwie.
Hinten Roll ist nichts, ja.
Ich will es schon lösen, Benoit.
13-8.
Ja.
Ist gut.
Ja, ja, finde ich gut.
Sonst mache ich auch den
What a
Clean
team
Roll.
shot.
Clearing.
Clearing, ja.
Aligned before the shot. Yep, let's make sure we make a good decision.
Too heavy to
Lovely throw from Robin Bryden. Great judging from the sweepers. That's curling.
Ja, sorry.
Weißt du, wenn wir den Ball spielen,
Ja.
passiert es so.
Not easy for the Swiss to remove this now.
Ich würde sagen nein. Das ist wirklich...
Das kann schon passieren, ja.
Ja, also wir müssen schon nicht den Doppelstick machen, weißt du. Also mit Clearing, ich finde den Clearing super, aber... Ja.
Vier fünf to in, den Freeze dort lösen und...
I think the idea just to move things around here. I'm not sure you can get rid of the pair of yellows,
4-5 to high ist...
but let's just open things up, move things around a bit.
Ja. Skål! Skål!
Yannick Skip of the Swiss team throws third stones. And I'm not sure he could have done much more with that. He gets rid of one of the yellows. The second yellow doesn't have the backing anymore. Yeah, I think we'll give that one a thumbs up.
Just scared that I get right here, he might be able to do. You don't think it's just going to ping that way?
I thought this would be a popular one, and we do have a whole lot of people in the chat starting their weekend with a real good game here in Baden. You can see superfan Michaela. You saw my good friend Chris yesterday. Thank you for saying hi, Michaela.
Fully guard this one, so if he ever tries this, if he ever has to offer on top of
I tell you fans, everyone is going bonkers for Curling Philippines.
if he ever tries this and ever misses it high,
And guess who we're watching in the next round?
a good chance he's
It's only Team Philippines.
peeling, and then we can maybe play this. Try guard.
Still looking for their first win at this competition, Philippines, but you know they've had a couple of losses by 1 point in the last stone. So don't think that just because this is a new country, a new team, that this won't take very long. They know what they're doing.
It's either that. I quite like the guard. If we think he's going to peel, just guard this. If he ever tries that and misses it high, we're on top of it again. So I don't think he plays that. I think if we guard, he peels. As long as he can't chase this in the outturn. True.
We have Tom's rail announcements and clock.
Well, if you
also
don't get enough, it's a pretty
superfans
big
in the
pocket.
chat.
If you go over here, I'm scared that you can maybe squeeze it. That's my two concerns.
Megan, who never sleeps.
Like a
Welcome,
millimetre,
Megan.
and it just both go. If all three of you seen this, you can play it. I'm not against it. It's just.
I think we're throwing the
Superfan
guard
Sue.
enough that he can't chase this, right?
Tuning in from Michigan.
Probably is having a crack at
Yeah.
that and send over anyway.
Oh, dedicated fans in the virtual
Really
club
thin
here.
if you're just short though.
Teresa in the
If you
chat,
ever
she will
miss
be
it though, you're
happy.
right on top of this.
She's a Schwaller fan.
He's saying he does blast this, and around the back anyway when he's got to try to see like stick that from here to misses it.
And we have a new fan. Serena in the chat sends a high five. And I happen to know that Serena is very expert at sending high fives. So welcome to you, Serena.
Yeah, well, my first thought was
I
like
hope you're enjoying
here.
watching
So
the
he
curling this
almost-
afternoon.
He almost can't get it over the top and back. Or just a hair shorter, but yeah. Guarding this, We don't even need to fully guard that, just like a quarter.
We're looking for a force here and steal.
Either.
Als je naar een guard vertolkt mag, dat is met de belangrijkheid.
I think we're in a good spot to do something, either here or there, I think. Just scare.
And our super fans will know what I'm about to say here. Just make a decision, boys.
Same thing, isn't it?
At some point, a committee meeting has gone on for a bit too long, and you start to lose the rhythm a bit. And typically,
I like both.
not much of a fan of long discussion. I'm not even much of a fan of the timeout, honestly. I'm not convinced that the shot you play after a timeout, it doesn't work as often as it should do.
And he moves out there around again. It's 2.
Okay.
At this point, we're trying to make him play these guys.
Okay.
I think that's close, Ross. Got there eventually.
Sorry?
We got there eventually.
Yeah. I told Brunner I was turning at the bottom of
This was G nearly having a cup of tea or something behind the line there while Scotland comes to a decision. But these teams know each other very well. They play each other all winter. And typically a friendly atmosphere out there. But they both still want to win.
Boys, they need to touch more. Yeah, not like that. Okay.
Remarkably, for all that, I don't have any more updates from the other sheets. It seems like everyone's grinding to a halt out there.
Line's good! Line's good!
Straight if you can.
Close! Yep!
Straight.
Hard line!
Oh.
Yep! 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 Hard! Good.
That's a fine shot from Ross Whyte. All that discussion, and we got there in the end, said Rob Bryden.
Freeze is een optie, maar natuurlijk.
Freeze is een optie, is een goede heis.
Is een goede heis, ja.
Dat is een optie.
Ja, ik mag niet.
Right, we've only got 2 hours left, boys.
Oh, ik had 2 sticks.
Het is gewoon mega slecht gekomen, weet je. Je doet het zo nog.
Before the next game wants to play.
We zijn niet te vriezen.
Dat kijk niet, dat spijt je zo zo.
Ik zie niet veel. Ik geloof.
Kom eens naar de winkel aanschauen, Sven.
4 joinval. 40 schrift, 40 scott. Ja, ik weet niet of het...
Fernando.
Oh, committee meeting approaching. Now it's Scotland's turn to be patient.
43.
That gives us a chance to say thank you to our sponsors in the left there. We have 20 of the best teams in the world here, and that's thanks to the great sponsorship that makes it such an attractive competition. We have great ice, we have a great club. You have all your food included, which is really important for these boys. And that's all thanks to our super sponsors that make this one of the most popular competitions. We had a waiting list this year. Some teams too slow to register.
Padme? Ja, ja. Sven Padme, ja. C'est pas trop vite, hein.
Let's remember our objectives then for this end. Scotland would dearly love to steal one, score a point, even though they don't have last stone. That's what they're trying to set up. And the Swiss, they don't mind scoring one either. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over a bit. That would give them a 3-point push.
Regarde bien.
Lean, oui. Lean. Oh. Oui, oui. Oui, Sven! Oui! Allez, pousse!
Big sweep from Sven Michael. Ooh. And even Sven, who is so strong at sweeping, he has broken a brush in half before. You may remember that from World Championships, but I don't know if they maybe misjudged that or if it took off on them, but you can see Yannick ever more panicked at that end. And even Sven Mikkel not able to guide that stone around the front. And could that be a chance for Scotland then? To try to get another point on the board in this end. That would really change the game up.
That's our best chance of steal.
Ja, genau. Whyte is perfect.
A point to Scotland would make the score 3-2. A point to Switzerland would make the score 4-1. Quite a difference.
Back line, back 12. Back 8's probably okay. Quite nice. Touch more less. I agree. No, that's close.
Final throw of the third end for Ross Whyte of Scotland. This team, the Scottish champions, they had to get past all of Bruce Mouat, Cameron Bryce, James Craik, Kyle Waddell. And now they have to get past Swiss champion Yannick Schwaller.
Yes! Whoa! No! Whoa! Whoa!
What a shot. Bravo, Ross Whyte. Again, I'm not sure he could have done too much more with that.
Good.
Really controlled weight there. Hides in just behind the front. Ooh, do we need another committee meeting for this shot? Nope. Decisions made.
Ja. Oui. 3 quarts. Ce que je vois en fait, un poil moins.
Huge weight from Schwartz. Huge leg drive there.
Whoa! Oh, curl!
Ready? Here it comes.
Good.
He is annoyingly good, Benoit Schwartz, isn't he? Good end from both teams there. But that just shows you how important the last stone can be. A valiant fight from Scotland to try to steal 1 point, but a huge weight from Benoit Schwartz, knowing that he just needs to get a little roll towards the centre, and he does it perfectly. But I think the Scots will be reasonably happy with that end. Things getting better for them. They certainly forced a super shot from the Swiss, and as we said, maximum 1 point to the Swiss is okay for Scotland, but no more, and they certainly managed that very nicely. And getting towards the halfway point in our featured game at Baden Masters 2024, and I'm sure again we will see the Scots throw up some cover out front and really try to build a couple of points in this fourth end. Now, if you're a Team Stocker fan, oh, I am, then you will be happy to learn that there was a 2 on the board for Yves' team against the reigning World Junior Champions, Lukas Høstmælingen of Norway, and it is Stocker's team leading 3-1. They chased Yannick Schwaller off the ice in 6 or 7 ends last night, so they should be feeling nice and confident. The battle of the hats on sheet 3.
Halfway! My brush if you can.
It's Bruce Mouat's hat that is putting in the miles at the moment. It is a steal of 2 to the Scots in the third end, and oh gosh, life getting difficult for the Americans. It is 6 points to 1. The European champions from Scotland lead Corey Dropkin's team from the US. And we are on the fourth end on sheet 4. But they seem to be a bit confused by the scoreboard over here. I will let you know when we figure it out.
Deutlich tighter als vorhin.
Ja,
Da hinten wäre gut.
ja, vielleicht.
Auf der Linie sind wir nach Körbli unterwegs.
Im Moment sind wir auf genau T-Kurs. Nein, ist
Ah,
gut,
sehr
von
gut.
Camellia in the chat says hello. Hi, Camellia.
Ganz anders gespielt.
If you want to say hello or tell us who you're cheering for, ask a question, share a cool curling fact with us. We'd love that sort of thing here.
Good wait. Wait. Mais l'autre est super, hein?
Brush down if you can.
Tight!
Oh then.
You and Kyle then being asked to set up 2
It's not a bad
corner
setup.
guards.
Yeah, my brush.
Guardian 2,5.
Very nice, Sean. Shots.
Oh, da gibt's
Lovely stones from Ewan Kyle.
ganz schön stark.
His contribution
Ohne 12,
will
Nähe
be
Guard ist beides okay.
absolutely
Einfach, dass du
critical
nicht in den Roll machen
while
können.
Scotland are chasing the game here.
Nicht noch.
He's done his job though. 100% to Ewan Kyle.
Nimm bien.
And Scotland have to keep their nerve a bit.
Ligne lui.
Das ist 2,5.
Ligne lui, garde la ligne.
That is the correct strategy. Throwing up 2 corner guards. They're trying to be aggressive. They want to score
Nimm bien.
more than 1 point in this end, but they need to hold their nerve
Gueule. Gueule.
and understand that they will be looking at
Gut.
1, 2, 3
Parfait.
Swiss stones in the centre.
Genau, ich finde es so super, weil.
Wegen dem Rolling, ne?
Ja,
11.
ich.
Hat
Aber ja.
Knie drauf ausgeführt, sowieso nicht.
And this is a really precise shot.
Chasen
oh,
und probieren
ich
forcen.
glaube, er hat vielleicht gar nicht 12 Spiele. Aber ich finde so, ich finde.
Probably the shot we see more and more in the 5 rock landscape. Duncan McFadden being asked for
11-3.
really controlled
11.5.
stone
Just
here.
clean.
They want to move that centre guard and roll in behind cover.
Carl,
To the
whoa,
side.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Hard. 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 Spin, please. Good shot.
That is a good shot. I think ideally Ross was indicating he wanted that yellow to roll into the house, into the rings, but a double guard is a happy result. And as you can see, the centre is now clear. So a thumbs up for Duncan with that throw.
Ich glaube, der Guard ist fertig.
Michael, weißt du, wenn du nimmst nur die.
So,
Die Guard ist nicht gut und das ist auch nicht so angenehm.
beides fertig. Ja? Ja, ja, das ist.
Und wir haben 2 im 4 Fuß dann. Gut.
Also go. Können wir. Okay. Ja, double.
Classic stuff. Scotland prefer to have cover out front, then they can hide stones in behind. That's their best chance of scoring 2 or more points in this fourth end. And for Swiss, their objective is exactly the reverse. If there are no stones hanging around,
Shooter.
then it's much harder for Scotland to score, but just getting the 1 guard there. We see the value of that lovely throw from Duncan McFadden with his previous shot.
Ja, nur das Single. Mit $2 mehr so. Das ist
Camellia asks, does Team Whyte have a chance to go to the Euros?
Der ist eine gute Guard.
I don't know. I'm not from Scottish curling anymore. And
Aber ja, ja.
I think there are people in the chat who may be able to help you with that question, Camelia.
Also ich finde das cool gut, aber klar.
But certainly there is not necessarily a correlation between being a Scottish champion and representing Scotland on the world stage.
Wait as well, Ian.
That's about as much as I do know.
Wait's got to go.
Got a chance, you go! Head down in this! Whoa, try and angle
And
it.
while we all love Bruce Mouat's team, of course, always fun to watch,
Okay.
I really feel for Ross Whyte's team. I feel that we ought to think of them in the same kind of headspace as the likes of Mouat's team and Retornaz and so on.
Das geht gerade drauf.
15-3.
And the teams out there, they know what's what.
Okay.
But to the watching fans, they probably haven't seen as much of Ross Whyte's team on the world stage as maybe they deserve.
Ja.
Or maybe they've been unlucky as well. As I said, Ross Whyte's team, they were on their way to Worlds when COVID struck,
Kommt ziemlich schnell ins Haus rein, habe ich das
so they
Gefühl.
must feel like
Ja, aber das
the universe is a bit against them.
Ja.
ist einfacher.
Vor allem, dass der Tor genau da drauf läuft. ist nicht
As we
an der
said, we've
Linie.
never had a Scottish winner here. We always have such strong support from the Scottish teams. They always send multiple teams to this competition, but we've never had a Scottish winner. We had Cameron Bryce's team in the final last year, after beating Ross Whyte's team in superb game in the semi-final.
Also ich glaube extrem schnell.
But we've never had a Scottish winner, so maybe that would be a nice consolation for Ross Whyte to be the first Scottish team to get to the Baden Masters Trophy.
Ja, das ist gleich wie bei dir. Schon gut gefunden,
I
oder?
don't think you're throwing it now. I think you need to go run now to try and
Läuft
move
schnell.
someone's guy. Hard to top him. I'm with you then. I think it's
Er hat ein bisschen aktiv gespielt. Er wird müssen
Also,
gehen.
wäre so gut.
This is an interestingly aggressive call.
12 Fuß ist auch gut. Also Linie ist Friesen. Steht schnell. 5 Eis. Ihr will im Fall schon voll voll. Ja, okay, das ist schon ein bisschen lieb, ja.
Interesting.
Kann ich gar nicht.
Traditionally,
Ich weiß,
you would typically see the team ahead, so that's Swiss, they're leading 4 shots to 1. You would see them just cheerfully removing stones. They don't need to
Try and
score
make this.
points here. The Swiss, they just want to make sure Scotland are not scoring. And this is
9!
more aggressive than they need to be.
Ich kann mir jetzt fast nicht aus Bitte rausmachen.
Haben wir es überlegt.
Ja, weißt du?
Let's see how Scotland responds.
Aber das ist nicht horrible.
Nein,
Carol!
nein, das ist schon nicht gut.
Carol!
Der Roller muss das erst perfekt machen und dann...
Das ist
Whoa!
schon wieder.
Carol! Carol!
Ich glaube nicht, nein.
Ja, das-
Carol! Guess we done that was just great, I guess.
Just removing the one Swiss guard though.
Ich
They
glaube,
were
er
hoping
probiert ein bisschen mit dem.
to move at least one
Er macht den Double Roll.
off the forefoot as
Wenn er
well.
aufpassen.
So,
Ah?
da hin.
Just
Also, meinst du,
neutralising
es ist
really.
gut,
One
wenn
guard
er
thrown,
den
one guard
Er kann
removed.
sicher 2 Steine ins Haus
As you
reinbringen,
were.
so.
Und ich meine, wenn du Center bist und er bringt es da rein, viert ist ein bisschen mühsam. Das frage ich. Was soll ich sagen? Was soll ich?
Guard. Mein Instinkt ist schon Guard, weil da muss sie zuerst etwas Gutes machen.
Also nicht, einfach nicht.
Ja, genau. Da.
Ich meine, wenn du 12 bist,
Ist okay.
ja.
Oh, happy news on sheet 4. We figured out the scoreboard and
It
it was a nice big score of 2. to Kyle Waddell's team. And they're looking nice and comfortable now at the halfway stage in their game. After 4 ends on sheet 4, it is Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland leading 5 points to 1 over Swiss vice champions Andrew Schnider's rink.
The one you're hitting, you're going to the shooter going to the top one, the other one's pinning down the way, like trying to spinning.
Geh einfach Länge. Logo, wenn möglich.
The Swiss team feeling like
Wenn
that
es geht, mit dem
strategy
Logo. Ligne bien.
still remains a good
Ligne parfait.
idea.
Regarde un peu. Wow, ligne bien, wow. Straight. Tu le fais trop.
Wow, wow, wow.
An aggressive strategy is typically high risk, high reward.
Kom bien. Sorry voor de superlean. Super sweet.
Should be, unless you roll too far.
Ik kom maar überhaupt.
We see Ross Whyte then saying, okay, I will take your aggressive strategy and turn it to my advantage.
Dat is perfect.
Ja, dat is mega goed. Ja.
Ik vind
Clean!
wenn er
Clean.
een gelbe marker is, perfect.
Genau.
We're approaching halfway in our featured game at the Baden Masters 2024.
Straight! Whoa! Whoa!
It's Scottish champions Ross Whyte against Swiss champions Schwaller. Another beautiful precision throw from Robin Bryden.
Ja, wenn ich Doppel mache, bringt 3 im Fuß. Sprintoption.
Du kannst Sappen tappen.
Yeah, how do you like them apples, Switzerland?
Good shot, man.
Schaffen wir das?
Ja. Scoring area is toch klein im Moment, weißt du? First so.
And if you joined us last year, and I know a lot of you in the chat are regulars here in the virtual club, you will remember that we had the super popular halftime quiz.
Ich glaube, der Freeze ist...
And you will be excited to learn that halftime quiz will be back this year, not exactly at this halftime in this game, but we will be having a halftime quiz again. It will be new and improved halftime quiz even. And we will once again have terrific prizes. So stay tuned for that.
Pardon?
Beißen Dolly lang! Beißen Dolly, ein klein versteckt, das ist schon sehr gut.
Nice shot, man.
We got to know all kinds of things about the teams last year, and some things we didn't need to know.
Depends where they go. I thought about it there, but I just don't know, guarantee where they go. And if you try to make this and spin, go onto this, try and spin them in, you can just roll next to it.
Regarde bien. Ligne très bien. Ligne parfaite.
Ligne parfait!
Un peu large. Non, ligne bien.
Un peu place! Non, ligne parfait! Ligne oui! Ligne oui! Sie ist weg! Oui! Oh! Oui, oui, ligne oui, ligne oui! Oh!
Try and make the double and roll binders.
Also mir gefällt das Stein nicht so, das ist jetzt das zweite Mal.
Well, Switzerland,
Yeah,
you
my
wanted
just-
to be aggressive,
Das ist sicher eine komische Bewegung, finde ich.
Fast ein Pick.
but it is
Es ist wahrscheinlich ein Pick, oder?
that little yellow stone thrown by Robin Bryden that is currently lying short. It is behind tee, but
I think if we play this,
a whole bunch of shots in front of it.
this for 4,
Also, entweder der Pick oder Lapiergasse.
this for
Also
3.
wenn ich da jetzt 5 Mal einschusst,
think the-
Tom's all
I think he's
excited to
hitting
take
one
part
if he
in
can
quiz.
feel.
I will try to find out from Chief Anina
Big movements macht in die End.
when which round quiz will be beginning.
10?
Aber dann Double Retreat.
Yes. I'm just scared that we catch it too thin
purée dommage.
and this doesn't go.
Waiting.
far.
I also want to know who else doesn't change their socks for a
Stay
whole
about
competition.
with that weight.
Genau dann.
Ja, eben.
We know that that's someone from Italy,
Ja.
Yeah.
but we decided not to
It's
learn
not that what I'm
exactly
concerned about.
to spare their blushes.
Yeah, that's good.
Ja, decision time.
9? 9.5?
Das Ding ist, nehme ich noch was mit dem Freeze. Wenn ihr 4 Fuß allein hat er eigentlich noch.
Big shot here for Scotland. It was the Swiss who decided to play aggressively, and have they given Scotland a chance now in this fourth end?
Perfekt.
Ja, genau.
Clean. Yep. Yes.
Schau.
Arjen.
Tschüss.
Noch nicht.
Halt! Halt!
Oh Gott. Wow. Okay. Schnell,
Ooh, I'm
Schwierig.
Snel.
a bit speechless. I think that
Klar, ja.
didn't quite
Ja, ja.
Einfach die Killer.
catch it at exactly the right angle,
Also, wir
but
können nicht forcen. Also, man kann es in der 9
that's
spielen,
a
aber...
pretty nice throw from Ross Whyte.
Verhindern.
You did well.
Jedes End mit 0 ist gut für uns, weißt du?
Ja. Okay,
Is there a double take
Nein,
available for
sehr gut.
Benoit Schwartz. He is a bit of a magician, isn't he? I have watched more than one game where Benoit Schwartz kind of beats you all by himself.
Get really aggressive and then just track there.
What? I couldn't see your side high from where
And that would be a real pity for Scotland.
Did just take off quite early doors, but I didn't think.
I thought you would hit over the top of it, if anything.
That makes sense.
Let's see, last throw of the first half of the game for Benoit Schwartz van Berkel.
Girl! Girl! Fuck,
Ooh, just the one though. Huge weight, but not quite the right angle. Oh my goodness. Is Scotland really looking at those two yellows, trying to bring them into play?
You're thinking so the shooter comes into here.
Yeah, I would agree.
You're throwing the end turn, so this spins on and the shooter into here.
The only good thing about it is it might spin in no matter what.
Well, saying he can't guarantee he makes the fancy shot. I think I would much rather see the draw from Ross Whyte at this point. If it was the 8th end, by all means. But
I think it is there. But
a nice easy score of 2, that would bring the score to 4-3.
you're catching a thick third on the end turn.
Yeah, that's always spinning in.
It's always spinning in. It's just
I'm not sure it's spinning in enough to beat the red, though. You don't really want a score of 1 here.
the end turn should take the out turn here, so it should kick off.
I'd
I
like.
know what you're saying, but I just think it's coming with the end turn.
I'd like to think so. It is. My gut would say get the 2 on the board, try and force, then get 2 and 6. Force, get 2. This looks like suicide.
I fully agree with you, Ross Whyte. I would not be doing this in the 4th end.
Yeah,
If
just
you need
like
a Hail
so
Mary
far,
in the 8th end,
I
by all means
can't
take a run
guarantee
at
I'm gonna
it.
make 2, maybe 3 in
Take
this.
it on.
So
Should have taken on.
Would be a nice shot to try.
Much as we would all love to see a circus shot like that, I agree with Ross Whyte. I think that could really change the
do
game
that the whole way back.
in not a very nice way.
I think so. I got close. I got really close.
Last stone of the 4th end in our featured game in Baden. The Scottish champions, Ross Whyte,
Keep it clean.
are
Line's great.
behind against the Swiss champions,
Really
Yannick Schwaller.
Fully 4.
Hard lads.
Alright, boys.
Big sweep from the Scottish
Hard,
boys.
Hard.
Oh, don't be short. Don't be short. Whoa, well, they have certainly earned their dinner. Huge sweep from Duncan McFadden and Ewan Kyle. And a really important score of 2. Bit of a sigh of relief from Ross Whyte. I think, for me, I think that was the right decision.
Made it
You
right.
could hear him saying exactly what he thinks they need to do for the next 4 ends after that. But at the halfway point, here in our featured game then,
Yeah, let's try and get.
once we put the score up, that will be a much closer game now. It's Schwaller's Swiss champions leading Ross Whyte Scottish champions 4 points to 3.
La première est vraiment. Hein? C'est ta première, ouais. Oh, ouais, faut s'en égaler. Par contre, je dois dire, je sais pas laquelle c'est la première. Ouais.
Line's good for short. It's probably a touch narrow. Similar line to we've seen the other one to here. As long as you're over. Just get it over.
You may have noticed, gang, that we have our little pop-up chats popping up on the screen as well. So if you want to say hello, you leave us a message in the chat. Maybe your little message will pop up on screen. Tom would like to see halftime quiz doing all highest level games. Well, I fully agree, and Camelia maybe weren't with us last time at this competition, Camelia. We introduced halftime trivia quiz, and we had some trivia questions for the teams. So who's always last minute at training, who doesn't like to get up in the morning, who's had their brushes broken while they're travelling on the plane. And it was a runaway success. It was so popular that we're going to do it again this year.
Line's fine.
Line only.
Definitely a higher line. Line's good.
Shoot. It's good. Wait's good. Good job.
Very nice. Good shot, June.
There's our high five from New Fans Arena. To send a high five to your favourite team. Or send some support. We love that kind of thing here in the virtual club.
Mega. Da war irgendwo drüber gegangen. Ça, c'est la pierre, je pense, Pablo.
Qu'est-ce que tu penses?
Great end from the Scottish team in the fourth end, really working hard to give themselves a chance to pick up 2 points. It was the Swiss who decided to be aggressive instead of just removing shots from play. And their reward is a score of 2 to Scotland.
Line's going to be right in the middle, but it's not going to be either. No.
But Scotland's still 1 point behind.
14-3.
I think we'll see similar kind of strategy from them. Great setup again, though, from Ewan Kyle and Duncan McFadden. They're determined to do their part to get this game back on target. Speaking of target, some target practice for Sven Mikkel. Huge hitter, Sven, but just removing one guard. That suits Scotland.
One more.
I think one more.
Okay, let's make sure we cover this.
Plenty of Schwaller fans in the chat as well. We have many dedicated fans from Asia Pacific region. I'm afraid I cannot pronounce your name, but thank you for joining us and thank you for your support for the Swiss champions.
One.
Okay, line's good.
A little bit, yeah. Can I go a bit?
Alright then. Looks lighter than Ewan's. Just get over. Line will do itself. Line's absolutely fine.
Just replacing that guard then. 4 out of 4 stones for the Scottish front end. Great stuff from them.
Das ist so schwierig. Also ist gleich wie vorhin, aber ist sehr schwierig.
And here's a big difference, viewer, between these games here in Baden and our games at the club.
Probieren wir, ist schon gut.
We could hear the Scots as that stone was travelling. They said just over and up. They mean just get it over the hog line, that horizontal line, and then up with the sweeping. And the reason they do that is out of respect for the hitting power of their opposition. The further apart those two guards are, the less likely Sven Mikkel can get the pair of them. But Sven is quite good, and he does get the pair of them. Here it comes, a huge distance between the two of them, but a huge weight from Sven, and for an encore, picking out that Scottish stone on the forefoot.
Line's good.
Like we said for the previous game, Scotland, who are, they're only 1 point behind, but chasing the game.
It's not done anything.
They need to not let
You're going to get a good chance again. It's really very tough.
fancy shots from Sven and the Swiss. Don't let that get into your head. Keep working hard, keep concentrating. Don't let your heads go down with the hitting power of your opposition.
Ich glaube, wenn du willst, mit Backline out ist.
And that stone just coming up a little bit short from Robin Bryden, but that definitely the tolerance. No use too long, that stone there. You can see it just biting the front ring. That's a stone that Scotland can still use. But if that stone was too long, if it would maybe have slipped behind tee, then nothing more Scotland can really do. Still a close game on sheet 1. You can see the score on the left of your screen there. These Norwegians are pesky, aren't they? I was really unsurprised to see that they are currently the world junior champions. And they got a 2 straight back on the board against the most popular man in curling, Yves Stocker. And that's a score of 3 each. They are in their 6th end. And what a delicate shot that is from the Swiss skip. Scotland not exactly living dangerously. They do need to try to get this gap back.
Pocket. Even just slide off it.
But a whole bunch of red starting to build up.
Not much else. Just like T-line, back 4 weight. Yeah, I'm quite happy catching this thicker though.
I guess it's good morning or early good afternoon to you, Loretta. Loretta Benoit. I wonder if she's a Benoit Schwarz fan. She's a curling fan. Thank you for joining us, Loretta. We are glad to have you here in the online club.
Close. Yep. Whoa. Yes. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Yep. Oh. Hard. Oh. Yep. Yes. Yes. Okay, good try.
And it sounds like the line just catching the Scots out at the end again there. There have been a couple of shots that it sounds like they've been happy with most of the way up, but then the stone just finds a bit of extra curl towards the end. And oh boy, is this end starting to look pivotal. Hats off to you, Ross Whyte's team, for working really hard to try to put more points on the board. But as we said, aggressive tactics are high risk, high reward. And there are quite a few reds hanging around now.
Fast halv, oder? Fast halv. So, yeah.
The Scottish teams on sheets 3 and 4. You can see on the static cam on the other channel they're both having a real happy game. It is 6-2 to Bruce Mouat's team after halfway. And it is 6-1 to Kyle Waddell's team against Andrew Schnider over on sheet 4.
Might just be a clear through here. Try and lift as many as we can. Try and not kill it more than 2.
Nini.
Look, the
Yeah, c'est
hair
bien.
also looks
Oui. Très bien. Oui. 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 Ouais.
Angle's quite nicely set up for Schwaller here
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
to move this yellow, and he does. Oh boy. That is a lot of reds hanging around here. It is red with last stone in this fifth end. So we're going to need a little bit of magic from the Scottish champions here.
Or even just that, just try and leave this in this gap. So I might have this freeze. And if I roll to here, he's got to probably chop it off and then I can play the freeze.
Ja. Ja, ist schon.
But like,
I just wondered if you threw it for the double.
not against. Yeah.
Das ist gut gewesen. Und sie haben nachher auch den Natendruck gespielt. Das ist viel weniger gut.
Not against either. You want to make two of them go, or you want to try and kind of put this back there?
Push it, you what, roll it here maybe?
Yeah. And just try and it probably goes to what here, but I might be able to play a freeze somewhere. And if we're here,
I just wonder. I'm not saying the triple. I'm wondering if we just make the roll.
I think it goes underneath it.
Take the roll behind here, and he chips and rolls back. He might leave you the triple back.
It's not far away if I cut it, touch this side. I don't think it's close actually, to be honest. No. That was my other thought, was try and get one in there now. No, but he might have another freeze if he puts it in. Well, let's make a call. We're doing this probably. Throw it at 9 on the in turn and see how far it goes. If it goes to there, or if it goes through, it's okay. Main thing is just try to make this roll.
9.5.
Because the thing is, if he makes a chase, say we get rid of both of these and makes a chase, maybe still have this freeze behind this corner to. So 9.
9.5. I think.
Okay. 2/3 low.
Every shot for the Scottish team very consequent now.
Main thing is trying
They
to
are
roll
on
some
2 out of 2, Ross Whyte's team.
9,
They had a tricky game to get past the Dutch outfit, Walter Gösgens team, with their first draw yesterday evening, and another tricky game against the World Junior Champions from Norway.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. No.
And another tricky game here against the Swiss champions.
Get him.
Ja. Aber wenn wir das machen,
That's the view from the hack.
dann machen wir nichts.
That's found a decent spot, that yellow.
Das da.
Probably stuff behind the team.
Wir machen es nicht.
Triple's pretty much there now.
If you come towards the yellow on the anti-clockwise handle,
Wenn wir genau dort
it's just going to squirt straight back onto the reds.
It's hard to know how exactly they're going to run.
So I think in the face of quite some danger, I think Ross Whyte has managed to neutralise a lot of it.
Ja, ich hab
I know, so did I. I wasn't shouting Carl because I was like,
Outlänge.
We've undercurled them so
Yeah.
many times.
Und weißt du, ganz ehrlich, auch das. Das ist alles oder nichts.
Ja,
Super.
Kante ist genug.
Das geht auch, aber ich glaube, Outurn ist gut.
Ist das genug für Backline?
Nochmal, oui.
Ist gut, ja.
Or does it? Maybe there is enough curl that you can get to the inside of that yellow.
Out. Ouais,
Let's see.
exakt. Ist auch gut.
Controlled throw from Benoit Schwartz van Berkel.
Oui! 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 Pousse! Pousse fort!
Pablo Lachak-Couchepin. That was the danger. What a shot placement from Ross Whyte. And again, even that real strong sweeping from the Swiss. Can't quite hold the line.
What have they got from the Hakyun for this one?
But Scotland not out of danger yet.
It's just so they don't have this double. It's what weight I throw up. I think you're throwing 8 seconds and just making this double. If not, you're just rolling right next to it.
Yeah.
On the side of this, it's getting beaten this. Yeah. 8 seconds. Fix barrel. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just can't miss it wide.
Schwaller's team on 1 win, 1 loss.
8 seconds to just try and roll next to it.
They would really like to pick up a win here and put themselves in a strong position to qualify for tomorrow's quarter-finals. All the teams play 4 games in the round robin. We have 4 groups of 5 teams. Three wins is enough to qualify. 2 wins, a bit more difficult. Wowzers! From looking at 4 against, Ross Whyte is all of a sudden 2 yellows to the good. 1, 2, 3. All in a day's work for Ross Whyte. A modest little fist bump there for the skipper.
4. I don't want to be the guy.
Well, goodness me, I was really wondering if this end was going to be pivotal in this game. The Scots in all kinds of danger, but Ross Whyte removing, I think, 17 stones with his last 2 shots there. Clock appreciating that shot very much, yeah. What a time to find a nice treble, leave yourself lying 2.
14,5. Achtung, es plantet.
Forced the Swiss to draw for 1. And our intriguing matchup continues.
Yeah.
Ja.
Crazy for it. Just try and put 2 in the board.
Reaching the business end of this game, we are 5 ends to the good in our featured game at the Baden Masters 2024. Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller taking on Scottish champions Ross Whyte.
Perfect, yeah.
A single point to the Swiss, a force, as if by magic. And that makes the score as we see on the board. The Swiss are leading the Scots 5 shots to 3.
Okay. Tu veux prendre une, Pablo?
Ich habe noch Anzeige und dann aufs WC.
Nein, gang doch. Quoi? Okay.
Well, the 6th end is often pretty pivotal as well. It's not maybe quite the game we were expecting. You can see why. A big score of 3 in the first end for the Swiss really gave the Scots quite a challenge, but they have really been rising to that challenge. They crafted a magnificent 2 points in the 4th end, taking advantage of, I think, the Swiss being a bit over-aggressive. And they will be very eager to do that again. So you and Kyle having a strong game at lead.
Tight.
he and Duncan McFadden at second. They have been setting up the ends really nicely.
Line's great. Okay.
And another good start from Ewan.
Extended a lot more on that one.
Now let's see if the Swiss will have a different approach to this sixth end than they did for the fourth. I think being too aggressive got them into trouble. Good news for fans from the US. We have Corey Dropkin's team from the US back again. They are having a pretty tough time against the European champions, Bruce Mouat's team from Scotland. But they did pick up a steal in the fifth end, and that makes their overall score. It is Mouat's team leading 6 points to 3 after 5 ends. Some kind of measure drama going on in sheet 1.
Line's good.
Not fully sure what's happening. That's a tied game as well. They are 3 points each after 5 ends, and there is a measure in the sixth.
Narrow, but okay.
Quite some discussion about it. I'm not sure why. Hopefully they resolve it soon. You don't want to take too much time out of the game.
Do you not try the laser?
Ich finde, das so ist zu nah zusammen.
This end looks familiar, doesn't it, viewers? I am convinced we saw something quite like this in the fourth end.
Ja, stimmt. Wir können auch so beißen alle. Das ist fast besser.
Ja, ich finde es gut, ja.
Gut.
We have our first result, though,
Sicher.
in this early evening session. Kyle Waddell's team, also from Scotland. We've got 5 teams from Scotland supporting this competition this year, and Kyle Waddell's team, they will be very happy to get a win on the board. They lost to Bruce Mouat yesterday evening, but they've had a nice strong win against Andrew Schnider's team, the Swiss vice champions. They will be very relieved to get their campaign more winningy.
That's right.
Sehr schön.
Making this chase and roll.
Okay. Quoi?
11 and a half.
Yeah.
And after all the measuring drama over on sheet 1, it was finally a score of 1 point to the Norwegians. So after 6 ends, it is the World Junior Champions from Norway leading Yves Stocker's team 4 points to 3.
11-2.
Hard. Gotta go a lot, Ewan.
11 and a half.
Yep, keep going, keep going. Keep going, mate, keep going. Try and roll it off. Try and roll it off. Okay, good sweep.
Well late in the end.
I didn't get it, but it looked touch light.
Familiar stuff here in the 6th end, and that went well for Scotland in the 4th end.
Wir können da reinrollen. Dann chasen wir dann einfach das ganze Ende.
Scottish Stones out front to provide some cover. And we will see the Scots working hard now to bring that cover into play, get some stones hidden in behind. And they would love to put a score of 2 up on the board and level this game. And if you remember, viewer, when Ross Whyte was certainly considering, he was keeping an open mind, should they go for that circus shot in the 4th end, try to bring a couple of guards, spin them into play, and Ross said, no, I think I'd rather go for the sensible 2, force them to 1, try to score 2 again, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Back 8, back 12.
Nicht schlimm.
Geht nicht ganz.
Ja, gerade ganz.
Back 12.
Back line. Yep.
So a lot of pressure on Duncan McFadden. He's the one who really has to now
Very
start
hard.
using that strong setup from
Got a lot of
you
work
and
to do here,
Kyle.
Ron. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Third 50.
Not curl. Straight.
Start moving things around a bit.
Sharp.
And that is a nice throw from Duncan.
13-2.
There's no advantage to moving those two reds out of the house. Then you would just leave a straightforward shot for the Swiss.
Wenn du das verlierst, ist nicht so schlimm. Ja, ja. Clean ist schon besser, aber...
Yannick Schwaller though going for that yellow just thrown by the Scots. And let's see if those two Swiss counters behind T-line now, well, at least one of them is, one of them's on T-line. Let's see if Scotland's plan works. Will they get in the way of this shot?
Whoa, whoa. Let's go. Whoa. Go it. Go it. Go it. Oh.
That's okay. It wouldn't go much further.
He maybe got in his head a little bit. There was just an edge of cover out front, and Yannick Stone hanging a little bit straighter than they wanted.
You bumped it's okay, but
Where is that?
that's just nibbling top bun, so you'll be 3/4 forfeit.
Pressure on Robin Bryden as well to use the good setup that his teammates have prepared.
Easy.
Yep. Yes. Line.
Weiß nicht.
Ich meine, weißt du, der Top 4.
Line's good.
On line.
So gut, das dann so.
Big time line as well. Try and get it touching 8 foot till I shot second.
That yellow coming up a little bit short,
59
but
really.
as we said, better short than long at this stage.
Max go nice second.
Macht
Ja,
den Freeze.
so viel
Also
Stein geht's
macht
nicht mehr.
jetzt den Freeze.
See what happened there.
Er macht den Freeze. Oder?
Ja. Und dann garten wir gegen Mouat.
Tom asks, what's the,
Ist das nicht?
Swiss boys for by
or one of the greatest comeback victories I've seen? It's probably against me, to be honest.
Jeder könnte...
I have a couple of times nearly lost a game from 6-0 ahead.
And it was not the Norwegian boys, but it was. He said it was the Swiss boys by a decent chunk to begin with.
Jochen ist... Ich finde es ein bisschen tricky, weißt du. Ja,
I did watch a game here, it was years ago now, probably about 10 years ago now.
Nein.
Wieso nicht?
It could have been the year that, I think,
Oh, wenn wir
Brad
egal machen,
Gösgens
dann
team
für
was
den
here.
Freeze, oder?
Und wie verteidigen wir es?
It's certainly one of the Canadian teams, and
Okay,
I
du findest
was
den nicht... Ja, ja,
watching
nicht...
from
Finde ich einfach.
behind the
Das ist
glass
der
here
Best.
at Baden,
Ich
and
habe gedacht, das ist schwierig, aber ja, nein.
the Canadians somehow lost a 4 in the first end.
Nein, also es ist sehr
Ich
der
finde
Best, ja.
das besser.
And goodness me, they dug deep and put their heads down and won that game.
Hier wäre
He enjoyed it.
da wär am besten, oder nicht? Wenn wir da bleiben.
Boah, no Freeze,
Und
oder?
dann ist, wenn man das reinrammt, bleibt das wahrscheinlich.
Boah, du musst genau
Or
hier
more
bleiben.
Ja,
recently,
ja. Ja, wenn ich es schaffe auf die Nase dort, ist es perfekt.
Es gibt den Finish da. Naja, es ist sicher da.
Was ist Edge denn, oder?
Edge. C'est quel temps, hein?
Das ist zu wenig. Ja. Edge!
Can I roll down off that
Yeah,
and chip our hill frozen?
Wir müssen einfach die Lücke brechen mit einer vorne Vierlänge.
Like in turn, high side, chip our hill frozen and roll in.
Also ein bisschen härter vielleicht wie... Okay.
then more recently actually, not exactly a comeback necessarily, but the bronze medal match at the Worlds was
Beat the back
a real cracker to watch. Very tough on Bruce Mouat's team, of course, but the Italians, again, hanging tough, really putting their heads down and working for it, and finally coming up with a bronze medal, rather against the odds.
Ligne parfait. Ligne, amène-la. Ouais, pour la vitesse, Go, pousse. Encore.
Da ist nicht viel Platz mit einer guten Länge zwischendurch. Er ist
That
links
is
und
a
rechts knapp dabei.
Great shot.
Nicht mehr so schnell. Was?
Es ist rechts und links mega knapp.
Ich habe gedacht,
Einfacher Drop.
Then third.
Finish ist später. Also,
I don't. How much weight you want to throw at it? Because if we throw it less weight, we might be able to hold this in behind the red. If you throw in rocket, it's gone.
They're nice. The rest.
Depends how much you want to score and how much you want to
Nice
just
for underneath.
try and score two.
That's the dilemma then, articulated by Ross Whyte.
There's a couple of nice angles that can come from throwing it at down weight
Here is sweep.
and just kind of rolling it in front of it almost.
How hard do they want to
Just scared
try
of launching it, we
to
lose
go
this,
for
so now they've got to stop
2 points here?
You could try and make that now, but it's tough.
Bon, mec, tire ça nul.
Does it look that nice to play is the only thing.
That's slower.
Like, I think it's nice to play and push out and score.
Yeah,
But can I make it like thin and get it down and move these and just throw
I
it
agree.
So
mate. It's not looking great either. Anything.
I think right now my releases are
doesn't look
quite
very nice
reliable.
down? No, I know. Like I say, like, what keeps something out, try and score two, and
Yeah, more than I usually would.
I just don't think I can make this enough to move like the right way enough.
It was just in case the yellow kind of fell in behind this as a guard.
Yeah, it's too hot
You
upstairs.
know, things maybe this.
She has to. Elle est addict.
He throws a guard and then maybe that for two. Maybe.
We do have another result.
First thought is we're throwing this if we're throwing it at peel and trying to blast it.
Static Cam's job is finished for this round. Over on sheet 3, Bruce Mouat's team
The shot is throwing the angle down and trying to make it.
winning over Corey Dropkin's team from the US, 8 points to 3.
I've still got a decent chance of scoring one.
Really, that big 4 in the second
you
end,
missed
changing the landscape in that game.
Half stone.
Yeah. You might not kill this.
And
but it might
Dropkin's
go far
team
enough
struggling
to go
really
here.
to get themselves back.
If you can stuff it there, that's great.
Thinking easy peel.
Okay. Half stone, do you think? Thick half?
I don't think we can make the middle like a down weight in a good spot. So it's either you're
Ich habe gedacht, er macht aber viel in Mitte, aber
your chance to try. Just throwing it easy peel. Half stone.
oh, so nicht. Das ist falsch.
Mega tough. That's big for shot. Oder?
What can the Scottish champions do with
Whoa.
3 stones to come? Oh no. That is not what they wanted at all. They've cleared out all the yellows.
Now can we no help, oder?
Is it the Scots who are going to fall foul of high risk, high reward tactics in this end?
Il fait ça après.
Rob Brydon having a really nice game, uncharacteristic miss from him, but that was a very precise shot being asked of him.
Ich glaube, wir
macht
machen einen High Guard.
Okay, und er macht jetzt.
Kannst du da drehen, wenn du willst?
Ja, ich glaube, ist gut, ja. Ich finde es gut.
Weißt du, in Theorie geht das noch. Wow, es ist ziemlich schwierig da zu suchen. Ja. Ja,
Ja,
dann gibt es
also-
eben hier wieder Space.
Also das wäre schade. Dann ist es der direkt oder drauf.
Dann gibt es einen Trip. Warum gehen wir nicht hier ein bisschen tiefer?
The Swiss really in the happy position of wondering where to put this stone.
Wir können ja da einfach killen.
Their end set up pretty nicely already.
Also im Moment macht er das kaputt, oder?
Scotland
Aber das ist
with a
die
lot of work to
Vorderspur.
do in 2 stones
Probiert können wir es zutun, eigentlich zu spielen.
already.
Ich muss einfach nicht kurz ziehen. Zieh einen hinten.
Ich finde das Ist auch okay, ich finde es nicht so einfach.
Ich glaube, das hilft Ihnen, wenn ihr nicht perfekt seid.
Ich finde auch, ja. Da haben wir mehr...
We thought it would be an intriguing game,
Also jetzt kommen wir nur.
clash of the titans out there, and it certainly is. Maybe not in the way we were expecting at first.
Ja.
Selbst nebendran ist okay.
Ja.
Weil dann, wenn er plantet, ist der noch da.
Ja.
Also du nimmst, die Option nimmst du ihn weg.
Die Line hinten 4, ja.
Gut.
We have now taken about 2 hours for not even 6 ends, boys.
Genau, geht passieren.
There's going to be
Wenn
no
er
food
genau
left for
gleich
dinner
hoch
if you
ist,
don't hurry up a
können
bit.
wir leben.
Ja, einfach nicht vorne. Also.
Ja, wenn auch das da ist, was passiert da?
Ja, dann spielt er direkt drauf, das macht alles kaputt.
Aber dann können wir nochmal dran spielen.
Ja, aber das ist viel besser im Moment.
Ja, ja, klar.
Das ist schon schade. Ja, oui, et puis vorne 4, c'est mieux de pas jouer, hein, que jouer vorne 4.
Decisions made.
Ja.
The Swiss surely thinking that if they can score in this end,
Linie ist gut.
this game is getting very difficult for Scotland.
Ligne parfait. Ligne oui. Ligne
Of
oui.
course, I'm not sure we've got time for an extra end if we don't speed things up a bit, though.
Ligne oui. Ligne oui. Immer noch Ligne. Hart. Hart. Das steigt ab. Super.
Ja, super. Ja,
There is one more round this evening at 8:30 European, so in just over an hour.
I think so.
I imagine Jamie, the Ice Master, is tearing his hair out,
I think he's probably
wishing
trying to
these
play
boys would get on with it.
out counters or maybe halfway.
Our
He might try and go here.
evening game is
Think so? Just make this double.
everyone's new favourite team,
This is the only shot to try and bring in 2.
Philippines, against
If I don't make
We've had
that, he
Brunner.
puts a guard on.
from Switzerland, and we had a spectacular game from Philippines against the
Might get
Italians
this one, and
yesterday.
if he ever comes up short, he might get a blanket of it. Okay, so we're probably thick half to touch this one, right? Has to maybe miss it.
Yeah, half stone the post, like.
A long way to go though for Scotland to even get to an extra end at the moment. The score is 5-3 to the Swiss playing red, and poor old Ross Whyte again looking at pile of reds here.
Half stone to thick half. Should be close.
Ross Whyte then trying to give himself a chance with his last stone, throwing his first rock in the sixth end, pardon me. This one coming at some pace.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Just cheerfully lifting another treble. 2 trebles in a row for Ross Whyte. Pretty handy stuff. And doesn't that look a lot nicer suddenly? I think whatever Switzerland does with this final stone, Ross Whyte should have a makeable shot
Maybe a thick half.
with his last throw.
Probably was.
But no chance of scoring 2, unfortunately, for Scottish fans this end.
Only because the rotation of.
Looking at that, they got a good chunk over like that stone was further over.
Ok, c'est la même vitesse, les deux lignes. Ok.
Yeah.
1 stone each to come.
J'ai fait le fire.
First to throw, Switzerland throwing red.
Ok, super. Alors 14.
Linie haut. Ligne parfaite. Linie steht recht.
The sweeper's standing away from this one though. It's got enough weight by itself.
Ja, wir können genau steppen, das ist nicht so schlecht.
Oh, that's just found the brakes.
Gut. Meer valt.
Pretty nice throw from Benoit van Berkel.
I think this is there for the blank.
Don't know what they do.
Probably, yeah. Alright, it should go if you make it perfect. This looks hard, but it's there. It's very makeable.
Similar discussion for Scotland.
Looks hard. It's easier, probably?
I think that's easier, but I can't throw anything like as hard as Ross Whyte.
The hole's there, like.
But he reckons the blank is possible.
Yeah.
And if Ross Whyte says so, I fully believe him. But finally, deciding to follow that stone just played by Schwarz.
The hole's just there, so you just need to bump it an inch.
Yep.
Just T-weight.
They just really need to play exactly the stone that Switzerland just threw.
Just seems to make it's curling a touch more the whole sheet.
So after throwing
Line's good.
2 treble takeouts back to back,
Whoa, whoa.
Ross Whyte now looking for exactly T-weight.
Yep.
Whoa. Hard.
Yep.
Hard.
High line.
Oh, that is really catching the curl. Big sweep from the front end here. And it does overcurl a bit. I think it was maybe not quite had enough weight on it. And that will be a steal to Switzerland.
Touchdown. Probably meant on my set at the end. So I was swept and didn't quite.
Well, now a KG 6th end. And it is finally a steal to Switzerland. They put 1 point on the board. First end to be stolen in this game. But life looking pretty difficult for the Scottish champions. It is 6 points to 3 for Yannick Schwaller's team over Ross Whyte after 6 ends here. Advantage Switzerland in the 7th end. They are 3 points ahead. An important game for Schwaller. They lost their first round encounter to the team on the left, Yves Stocker's team. So their path to qualification for quarterfinals would be quite difficult if they don't pick up a win here. Ross Whyte's team, on the other hand, they won their first 2 games. So they still have a little bit more flexibility than the Swiss, but obviously the better you're playing, the higher you sit in the table, the better chance technically you should give yourself in the quarterfinals. After the round robin, the 20 teams are ranked 1 to 20, and it is the top 8 who qualify. Typically 3 wins out of 4 is enough. 2 wins out of 4 will be enough for a couple of teams with the best draw shot challenge, but you really don't want to have to qualify that way. The only other game out there is on sheet 1. It is the aforementioned Team Stocker. They are playing the World Junior Champions from Norway, Lucas Høstmælingen's rink, and it was another steal for Norway.
Just under the dot.
Whole bunch of stones in play in the 4-foot again, but it was a steal to the Norwegians. And in the 8th end on sheet 1, it is 5-3 to Høstmælingen over Stocker.
Line's good. Line's a hair narrow. Where dunk?
We're like barely there, Ross.
Okay. Carl, touch.
Mega wide.
Carl.
Mega high, sorry.
Another 2 fine shots from you and Kyle.
Gut beide, Chase.
Also, stimmt, in Marke da, stimmt.
Von mir aus kann er gut den Pfosten probieren.
Ja.
Gut. 12,5.
Yannick then thinking that there's enough space and enough curl on the anti-clockwise handle to just play fairly gentle weight. And just bump that yellow through. And if you do touch the guard, as long as that guard doesn't go out of play, they can move it. But I think it's going to get safely around that guard. Just like that, super shot from Sven Michael, really controlled. Again, Scotland have to not let this get into their heads. They have to stick to their game plan. They have to stick to setting up the end the way they want.
Okay,
and rely on their firepower.
Can I go a little bit? Yep, good to go.
To clear out the centre later.
Line's great. Tight. Okay, line's good. Line's gravy against my brush.
Welcome, Kaylee, from Winnipeg, Canada.
Okay, good sweeping.
The Canadian team finding it tough actually as well. We have Team Chandler here. We will be watching them tomorrow morning at 11. But only 3 of them here at the moment. Their 4th player not able to travel yet. They couldn't get quite enough time off work. And yeah, the Canadians finding it a bit tough playing at this level with just the 3. So they are on the hard path to get to qualifying. They have lost their first 2 games. They must win their next 2 games to have a chance.
Should line with that, under the 3rd dot.
Sorry. Huh?
Same drill, just ignore what the Swiss are doing to a large extent. Focus on your end, Scotland. Focus on what you want to set the end up.
Line's probably just a touch narrow. Line's just on the narrow side. Hard then.
Again, though, the body language of the Swiss, unsurprisingly, looking fairly pleased with themselves. And rightly so.
Probably wasn't his most aggressive.
They took advantage from the first end, the Swiss, and they've really been putting the foot down ever since.
Das ist nicht crazy weggegangen, Edin, hä?
Now, surely not the time to be over-aggressive if you're Swiss, and sensibly removing stones from play.
Whoa, not too bad.
Clean.
Clean is always a happy sound. That means the line is fine by itself. Oh, that's the spirit, Johan.
Yeah, just buying's
Hope
great.
Yves Stocker.
Just make the chase as hard as possible.
Yves' team needing 2 in this 8th end to force an extra end. And sheet 1's furthest from us, but certainly stones in play.
Okay, line's nice. Brush on it if you can. Close.
When I go back, it makes.
Whoa.
And then I go forward, it makes.
Line's great. Line's great to go.
Yeah. It's scary a bit.
Arden, line's
The 2
great.
Scottish sweepers really putting their backs into this.
Yeah, the whole sheet's just a bit. Good sweep. 15-5.
But again, Rob Bryden's a professional. Let's err on the professional side. So a little bit shorter is fine. Now we've got a double guard. Too long, and that's a wasted stone. So nothing wrong with a double guard here.
Ja, ist ein Boss noch. Ich weiß nicht, ob es etwas bringt. Bringt es etwas oder nicht? Wir nehmen es weg, er geht hinten dran.
Wolltest du durchspielen oder wie?
Ich habe mir noch überlegt, ob wir es blocken wollen.
Ja, aber das macht den Friese. Also,
Ja, das ist so schlecht.
ich glaube, du spielst im Clearing, aber
Ja, ja. Safe.
einfach nur 3/4.
Definitely still potential for both games left on the ice. Sheets 1 and 2, definitely potential for both to go to an extra end. And then we'd be in a frightful rush to get to the 8:30 game.
Weißt du, wenn wir nochmal in 8 Fuß rein drohen, Bruno, auf Centerline.
So, oder genau allein.
Ja,
Auch gut.
das hilft mehr als alles andere, oder nicht?
Spielt keine Rolle. Ich glaube,
Machen wir
ja,
das?
er will probieren das zu brauchen, aber immer genau vorne.
Das ist einfach ein bisschen safe.
Ein Steiabstand.
Aber weißt du nicht, er muss ein Doppel spielen und wir müssen im Haussplit nicht so präzise sein. Also ist sicher, das hilft uns etwas, habe ich das Gefühl. Ja, ja. Also vorhin war 13,5 im Fall am Bablos rein. Das ist sicher schnell, oder? Ich glaube, das ist fast...
Ihr will nur vorne 8.
Also,
Ça cale pas.
Yes, Tammy, that's the spirit.
Also einfach nicht gleich hoch.
The Stroker Army are a dedicated bunch. Even though Sheet 1 is the only rink that we can't see, the Stroker Army supporting anyway. That's the spirit.
das macht die Hand weh, glaube ich. Ja. Ich finde, das ist smart. Here we can learn a bit, I think. Ja, ja. Wie gefällt der Call?
Ja, ja.
Okay, line's good.
It is Scotland with last stone in the 7th end.
Line's great. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Oder das einfach clear.
Again, a precision shot asked of Rob Bryden.
Was ist?
I think that overcurls slightly.
Machen wir den.
I think Scotland running out of stones to bring that yellow, just thrown by Robin back into play.
Gibt's nachher einen Quadruple-Fall?
He'll be a wee bit disappointed with that, maybe.
Ja, ja. In der Richtung, no? Ein bisschen mehr.
Weißt du, du kannst auch so oben noch.
Oh, welcome, Jack. All the way from Calgary. Wonderful. Well, Team Kevin Cooey, they're not in this competition, Jack. I'm not sure they've ever been to this competition. It's a long way for the North American teams to come. But if they did try to register, they were too late. The competition was already full. We do have Team Chandler, though, from Canada. But they're finding it quite hard work with just the just the 3 of them. That would be a disaster if there were just 2.
It's close.
But I hope you enjoy watching all the other teams, Jack.
C'était bien joué. Pour moi, c'était bien.
Okay.
Oui, ich habe ja
It's the exact same ice.
Ja, ich hatte nicht
T-line.
Plenty of space then for Scotland to try to give themselves a chance at scoring 2 here.
Line's good. Wayne. Yep.
We're on to skip stones on sheet 1.
Whoa!
Yep.
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 And currently
Whoa.
the lie of the land
Yes,
is
Yep.
Stocker lying short, Høstmælingen lying second, Stocker lying third. So intriguing stuff over on sheet 1.
Dat is zeer goed.
Stocker's team needing 2 to force an extra end.
Niet zo logischerwijs.
And what a lovely throw from Ross
Dat is
Whyte,
einfacher voor u. hè.
backing himself to make some sort of
Line's coming down.
double takeout with his final throw.
Was ist das? Okay.
Geen mee.
Ja, okay. mee.
We moeten niet ganz so flirten wie er.
Ja, ja, das ist so, ja.
Weißt du auch das? Da gibt es nichts.
Quick enough, 'cause
Ja.
that's a couple of games it's been ours.
Weisse 4 Fuß Höhe. Ja.
Did wonder if we just hit it
Oh,
and take the
ich
black.
trinke nicht mehr, Mann. Ja, c'est pas... C'est pas méga rapide.
Oh, well, it's just terrible, but maybe.
The other games already concluded. Both the Scottish teams in winning fashion this early evening. Bruce Mouat's team winning over Corey Dropkin's team 8-3, and Kyle Waddell's team winning over Andrew Schnider's team 6-1.
Es floatet sehr.
Entscheide,
Okay,
entscheide.
Nur beißen 8 Fuß. Nur beißen 8. Go. Achtung. Go. Gut. Hey,
Now you chip it over the face.
Das ist da richtig Handbremse noch.
And that's a very accurate throw from Benoit Schwartz.
Yeah. Just chip it
Fast möglich für
down weight, like
Ja, aber
10,
Hero schon.
9.
Sehr gut,
Like, you're
Benno.
9.5, 10. Like, I think 10's very close.
Yeah.
9.5, 10.
Hit a core.
I think you're a thin quarter, though, so
Okay.
you're trying to get into this side of it.
Nothing easier a run, is there?
No.
Ross Whyte determined to have a go at
Just about.
putting 2 on the board.
Half a rock deep. This is not there.
Also, das können Sie try when it's
9.5, 10, we think.
Indeed, they're running
Take a
out of
touch
ends
more.
really to not put 2 on the board.
1 in 6, 1 in 8.
I think that's enough. That looks like half. He's going to hit half stone to me, but that's a thin quarter, yeah. Touch
Another
more.
big shot from Ross Whyte.
Yeah, good.
It is Switzerland line 2. Final throw of the 7th end. Will it be the final throw of the game?
Whoa.
Close. Whoa.
Whoa. Carl.
Carl.
Whoa. Straight.
Whoa.
Whoa. Carl.
Clean. Clean.
Yep.
Line
Yeah.
sounds nice.
Yep.
Line sounds nice. Oh, what a pity.
Game good luck. Game good luck.
That was a really tricky shot. A brave try from Ross Whyte. Yeah, picking up 1 in that 7th end
Game.
was really not
Good luck. Good game.
going to help them against the Swiss champions. They really were wise to go for that too. But not working out for them this time. But of course, that group is turning out to be very interesting. It is a win for the Swiss champions, Yannick Schwaller's team. The score of 8-3 doesn't really tell the story of the game. An interesting game for us to watch together here, but it is finally a win for Schwaller's team over Ross Whyte's team, and that means both of those teams are now on 2 wins and 1 loss.
It's not the same ice as we took.
We are down to the last 2 stones, 1 each on sheet 1.
So it's not the same line at all.
So by the time we do last stone draw here on
No,
sheet
I'm happy
2,
to throw it. I'm just
hopefully,
telling you it's going to be different.
we will have a result on sheet 1 as well. The 2 teams on sheet 1 also in this same group. Høstmælingen
Whole sheet's curling.
losing out to Ross Whyte earlier on today, and Stocker defeating Yannick Schwaller yesterday evening. So both of them on 1 win currently.
I think just a touch more, Robin. I think the whole sheet's just curling that bit.
A lot of love for Team Schwaller in the chat. I know we'll always have plenty of fans for them and for Ross Whyte's team. I would not be surprised if we see both of these teams again in the quarterfinals, but this is a very tough group.
They're narrow. Here now.
Line's great. Line's
Always
great.
dunk. It's always dunk.
Hair narrow. Line's close.
Dunks in.
Hair
This is
narrow.
the last shot draw for the next game.
Sweep for T. T at this point. T line.
It's not the 8th end. And lovely throw from Ross Whyte. He just did not have a straightforward stone this entire game, really, did he? That big 3 to Swiss in the first end really changed the landscape of this game.
Ich habe mich verstoppt, hat ihr seine Split gehabt?
And Stocker Army, the big man has 1 stone left. That was a really nice stone from Lukas Høstmælingen.
Split tight.
It is Norway lying 1, Stocker lying 2, lying second shot rather.
Linie is close. Ja, einfach T-line nur.
Precision shot required from the big guy.
Linie is close für perfekt.
As we see
14-3.
Benoit Schwartz throwing a last stone draw for their next round. And their next round will be tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Last stone coming on sheet 1. The shot for 2 points for Stocker. If this goes to an extra end, then I will have to update you later. Or you can catch up with all the scores on the website. And it was a very precision shot needed from Yves and not quite making it, and that will be a win for the young Norwegians. So that group is really close. Everyone on 1 or 2 wins. So we have, again, a fast turnaround. We have about half an hour until this evening's draw is on. That will be Al and Linda, who will be covering that game, and it will be a real fun one. It's our second chance to watch the team from Philippines, skipped by Mark Pfister, and they are up against Michael Brunner's team from Switzerland. I will certainly be coming back to watch that as a viewer. So yeah, go and have a cup of tea, take the dog for a walk, come back in half an hour. Thank you for your company for our featured game. Schwaller's Swiss champions beating Ross Whyte's Scottish champions 8 points to 3. Thank you for your company. Bye for now.